Welcome to Chronically Ill Bitches with myself, Viola Odette Harlow, and my puppy, Hetty Lamar. Okay, I have my decaf. I have questions that I got from you guys on Instagram and TikTok. First, I guess, let me introduce myself to those who don't know me. My name is Viola Odette Harlow. I make music. I do acting. I have been in entertainment since I was 6. My first job was Shirley Temple on Broadway, and it's been a wild ride since. I have Prince-Metal angina, heart disease, lupus, EDS, Hashimoto. Yeah. Okay. Hashimoto. I don't know what I said. I have a lot of dumb shit. Okay, so this vlog, do you still call it that? This video series will be ongoing, and then I can get out of bed a little bit, and I don't want to feel isolated, and I also feel like I've been dealing with this for unofficially 10 years and diagnosed 5 years, so I feel like there's a lot to talk about, a lot that I've learned, and this is gonna have to. Are you playing peekaboo? We'll get that on camera. You'll have to see his peekaboo. It's his big trick. Your first question, what is Prince-Metal? I didn't know what it was. It was off of my hypochondria radar. Had it been on my hypochondria radar, it would have been my worst fear. I knew I had something wrong with my heart. I knew I had heart pain. I kept thinking things that Google brought up easily, like cardiomyopathy, or like I was told by a lot of doctors that I had anxiety. I know. I have pretty low anxiety, so I was like, am I really out of touch with my mental health? I went to a therapist, and they said, you're not, it doesn't seem like you have anxiety. You have less anxiety than maybe most people, probably because of child acting, which you can go either way. I wanted it to be anxiety because that is so much better than a really serious heart condition, disease that I will never get rid of. Coronary artery spasms are, you can get them with clear or blocked arteries. My arteries are clear. I have it where my arteries close, and so it's mimicking a blockage when that happens. This is due to the endothelial lining being damaged and dysfunctional. I know that they said that I had autonomic dysfunction, which means basically like your nervous system doesn't work right. And so adrenaline, cortisol, I have POTS, but I'm on so much heart medication for Prince-Metal that they would never give a POTS patient because they don't need to go through that. But actually kind of kills the POTS. I have always been around a lot of stressful people. I grew up in entertainment, a lot of ego, a lot of anger, a lot of tiptoeing, a lot of stress, especially for a kid, and then as a young adult, I was brought up with a narcissist, and I wasn't aware that I kept dating people that felt familiar, romantic, but then it turned into be like a really repetitive script of recapitulation of trauma, and I'm certain that didn't help my health, at least in the autoimmune sense, which contributes to the Prince-Metal. Still kind of a mystery as to why some people get Prince-Metal. Some people get it from a heart attack that leaves them with damage that damages their lining. Some people get it from autoimmune conditions. Some people have no idea. We theorize. That's for another episode. So, that's what Prince metal is. My arteries close. It took until I had an EKG from paramedics that read as an MI, which means heart attack, for me to get in the ICU and for them to sort me out. Healthcare isn't great at wanting to find things until they're killing you. Has been my experience is as long as you're not dying, go home. And then as soon as it presents that you are dying, we will figure it out because lawsuits. How did it start? It started abruptly. It started suddenly. I was having a lot of adrenaline, like dumps. Like I thought I had Cushing's or something. Like it was just like tons of adrenaline would just at random all day. I'd be watching TV. I'd be like half asleep, and it was like it would feel like we hit a car or something. And so that's why when they said anxiety, I was like, I guess like a really physical form. And then one night, I woke up 3 a.m, 3:30ish, and I felt like someone was pouring acid into my heart and like stepping on it. I felt like my heart was on like fire in like a Bengay way. I don't know how to describe that. No one really warns you. Like it's like pregnancy where everyone's like, it's beautiful. With like heart pain and heart disease, because it's usually like something older people get, and it's just kind of like people assume their time. It's less of a conversation, but when you throw it at someone right in the middle of their life, it's like, no. And then expect them to just like get up and smile and how are you today? And I'm gonna go to work. And whereas like grandpa's in the hospital or the retirement home and no one's gonna bug him because he has heart disease. But no one looks at me and is like, we better be gentle, because I'm just a young woman. And so it's like, let's just gaslight her and put pressure on her and why aren't you doing this and all of that. And so it's like stress. And then my heart disease is like, and my doctor's like, you have to avoid stress completely. And I'm like, how did you manage to get so far in music even though you're disabled, signed a disabled person? There's a lot you can do from bed on your phone. And there's a lot you can do from bed when you're working with a producer and you just have to drag yourself to the mic. There's a lot you can do from just laying in bed and corresponding, writing, creating. I make a lot of my songs in the bath. But I think what's gotten me so far, being disabled, is that I am not afraid to ask and reach out to people. Might have been out of my league when I first reached out to them in terms of where I was at in my career. It's the worst thing they can say is no. And so I would just constantly send my music to people. Do you want to work with me? And I eventually found the right team, and
Hi, Elvis.
if you're disabled and you have like a few brain cells, if you want, so there's no pressure to be ambitious or successful. If you're disabled and you just enjoy being and you just enjoy the world and observing it, that's okay. You don't have to be some success story. That's completely unnecessary. If you love creating art and your art requires you to correspond with people for it to exist, I lay in bed and send a lot of emails. Never stop working on your art in your mind, I guess. And some days that's not real advice. On the days I have extreme heart pain, I'm not like, what a cool melody. I'm like, ah! But like I said, being a success story isn't necessarily the arc of a disabled person, like of what someone needs to do. Just being here and existing and being part of society is hard enough. And finding enjoyment in the little things in each day when you're in so much pain is enough. Okay, there's a lot of questions about my pets. You know, he's got quite a beak. How many animals? I have, I believe, 9. Wait, do I have 8 or 9? Hold on. Norma, I have 9. I have 9 pets. Formative animal experiences as a child. I had lots of pets growing up. Actually, when I was 19, I was so jealous of my dog just walked in front of the IVAC. We'll cut to that. It was New Year's Eve. I was 19 and I'd had some wine. I was online and I was watching the New Year's episode of Friends and then a Dick Van Dyke episode. It was like some reruns on TV. Both of them involved pet ducks. I saw it as a sign. I'd had wine and I had seen the light. This was a sign. I Googled how to buy pet ducks. CaliforniaHatchery.com provided 2 ducks mailed to you for $6, which feels like there's something wrong with that. But I was drunk and I was like, great, $6, 2 ducks. Forgot about that. In 2 weeks, I got a call from the post office. They said, ma'am, we have your birds. I was like, I think you have the wrong number. Thank you. And they were like, is this your name? And I was like, oh no. Drove down to the post office. I opened up the box and 2 ducks had hatched and were looking at me like I was their mother. I was the first thing they saw. And they followed me around in a single file line as we raised them. My parents weren't happy. My dad was happy. He pretended not to be. It was an amazing thing. Eventually at 6 months, one of my dad's friends had a farm that had happy ducks in a pond. I was convinced that was a better life for them. I chose to do what was best for the ducks. So yeah, lots of, in terms of my childhood and animal, like this, there's nothing new happening with, hi, are you singing? There's nothing new happening in my household and me having a small farm. How do you keep harmony between the pets? I feel like that's one of the things I'm most proud of in life. Being in Rolling Stone magazine and having 9 animals that like each other and from all different parts of the food chain. So I got Theodore 10 years ago, and I had 2 bunnies at the time. He has absolutely no predatorial instincts. He might think he is one. He's also a trained service dog, a medical alert dog. He's studied at Cedars-Sinai. He's just a very good boy. He's the goodest boy. And so that set the tone. The cats followed his example and just tolerate everyone. No cats and birds are ever unsupervised. The rabbit is the highest on the totem pole. Step up. Okay, so this is Busby. He's an Indian ringneck. He reminds me a lot of a puppy. He's very sweet. Can you give me a kiss? Mwah. I'm gonna step up. Good boy. The gorgeous, gorgeous Busby. Busby Birdley. Okay, good hop. He really loves the dogs. That's his favorite. He loves Theodore and Hetty, and they love him. So those are all just kind of puppies. The other 2 birds are very birds. Birds, like girls. Currently, Hetty's favorite and most proud thing is this tube. Okay, I think with pets and kids and people, just let them have agency. Let them make decisions. Let them feel free. Don't make them do things. This is Ginger Rogers. This won't last long. She's a beautiful, beautiful girl. Ginger Rogers is a 3-year-old Persian cat who's not interested in being on camera, and that's okay. And that's what I mean by agency. Let your pet say no, and then they will trust you, I think. And be open to chaos, like things landing on your head and just continuing to be peaceful. I think the energy that you exude is the energy that they pick up on. Oh, we have the rabbit. This is everybody. This is Shirley Temple. She's the least of a prey animal I've ever met. In fact, she's a full predator. A very happy rabbit. This is Yo-Yo. She's the sweetest peach in the world. She's my ride or die. She's the size of a walnut, but she has more love than so many people I've met. We've already introduced Elvis, but this is a more formal introduction. Birds. Okay, so I want to read to you from this book that I just got that ended up on my For You page, which was definitely for me. How to Tell When We Will Die on Pain, Disability, and Doom by Johanna Hedva. There was this passage in it, in the first chapter, that felt like everything I've been trying to articulate. So she says, I want to know whom and what it serves to tell ourselves that illness or disability mean one or two things. To be alive on this earth is to live in the abundance of the body's peculiarities, and to have a body is to be determined by that body's ceaseless needs. And bodies, even at their best, even if they aspire to nothing else, are so delicate and dependent that they can't get by alone. I want to reckon with the twin facts that our bodies are fragile and in need of constant care and support, but we have built our world as if the opposite were true. Why have we told ourselves stories that begrudge and outright renounce our inevitable incapacities, declines, and succumbances when such stories are lies? Who benefits, who profits from these lies? What exactly is supported, even strengthened under the regime of the singular story that tells illness as the temporary aberration to a fantastical norm of wellness, that asserts we are sovereign individuals dependent on no one, and we should pity and fear those whose needs topple that sovereignty, the story that tells us care is only required sometimes, and that those who are defined by it, either because they need it or practice it, are less valuable, less human. What does it do when we force disability into the background of our stories as something either bad or bad but useful if it can be overcome, when it could be treated like love, war, coming of age, family, identity, a major subject that is strange, rich, powerful, and necessary to telling the story of life? What about stories that are enlivened, vivified, not despite illness and disability, but because of them? This was one of my pitches when I was trying to get a record deal. I felt like, because I've been through all that I have been through, I feel like I will never have writer's block again. I feel also, I feel stressed out and frustrated that I spent so much time trying to be a success story. As sick people, I feel like it is dangerous to rely on the narrative that you have to become a success story. You can't control your body that way, and you have no idea of whether that will be true. And if you start feeling bad again, the risk of that is you start pushing yourself, even though you don't feel good, because you don't want to let anyone down. A chronic illness is chronic. It's going to be with a person forever. And all the get well soons, and I hope that this never bothers you again, are meant well. It's just that I won't know a life like that. And to give people who are chronically ill watching me this goal doesn't provide them the actual comfort and acceptance that they need in their reality. And like this author said in an interview I saw, we will all be disabled at some point. It's just a matter of when. And so to other the people who have disability is a shame, because we all hope someone will be there for us when we get there. I'm going to continue doing this video series on the days I can pull it off. I will not give you a particular schedule that the videos will be released, because that is the whole point of this for me, is I can share things that I feel are helpful, useful, get off my chest, don't want to feel isolated, but when I feel like it, when I can. It's been lovely getting to know you today and all of my little farm in the city, and I will be releasing a single October 25th and a music video that I'm very glad I shot before I had my angina a few days ago, because I don't know if I would have been able to shoot it the rest of this month. So I'm really proud of that. I may have just undermined everything I said, but it's complicated. It's complicated to be sick and to want to do all the things you want to do, and to be ruled by the subconscious need to do well in society, despite the fact that it's hard to get out of bed most days. And then the days that I do, of course, I'm faking it. So even, I think if I have one piece of advice, if you're not sick, if you have sick people in your life and they post on social media on a good day, or it's maybe not even a good day, but they're just a good moment, they are celebrating, they are trying to portray life, signs of life, celebrate with them. This isn't the time to decide whether the rest of it has been fake. Chronic illness doesn't work that way. It comes and goes. It changes with how our hormones are balanced. It changes with how the immune system is functioning, what has triggered us, whether we've been sick. And if nothing has, there's days we're free. And that is so fucking cool. And be happy for people who have days that they're free, who are sick. Not suspicious. So, welcome to Chronically Ill Bitches. We're not just like neutered things with crochet, knit caps, and like meek little mice. We can be, if that's what you want to be. We are still fucking people. So, and I could still be a bitch. So, even if I'm chronically ill, I like a bad bitch, not like a mean one. I hope you have a wonderful day, or a decent day, or that you live through the day. And if you're not sick and you're watching this, I hope that you learned something. And I still didn't introduce my snakes, so this is Satirica. She's a blue-eyed Lucy, and she is a sweetie. She's super gorgeous, super friendly. I love wrapping her around my neck and watching TV. She's a warm, cozy little... Sometimes we get a little massage. It may be an attempt of murder, but she can't actually hurt me. I don't think it is. I think we're great friends. But, I love her. She's very cool. And that's the last pet, I think. Not near the snake. All right. Well, thank you for joining us at Chronically Ill Bitches from me and my snake. Have a great day. I need to lay down.